Welcome, guys. Welcome to another edition of Landscaping to the Point. We are joined by my great guest hosts and fun time friends, JC McTimes and Josh Curivan. It's our little Irish day. So the topic of today is, are you Irish? But before we get into that, I wanted to go on and let you guys know that last week you guys made fun of me for eating pizza with a fork. And I cooked pizza on Monday, okay, and I pulled it out and I wanted a piece because it was like late and I was hungry and I had to rush to go do something else. So I grabbed the pizza. Instead of eating it with a fork, I threw it up in my mouth and it burned the crap out of my mouth. So now I got this blister on my mouth. Thanks, Josh. It was all your fault. See, making fun of me with this not eating pizza with a fork. So, just wanted to throw that out. So thanks, Josh.
You're welcome. I feel like hot pizza is hot pizza. You would have burned your mouth with the fork and off. Can't cure stupidity.
I know it was in a hurry and I was in a rush, but I figured what the heck, so. But our great topic of today is are you Irish? We're all here. It is Irish Day in America, probably Irish Day everywhere in the world, but I'm assuming you guys are dyeing your rivers and lakes green too, right?
They're naturally green because they're all dirty.
They're all dirty. That's always good, right?
And everything, yeah.
So, are you Irish, Josh? Let's go. Let's hit that right off the bat. Are you Irish? Curavan doesn't sound Irish.
It's Curavan, not Curavan. It's Curavan.
I'm talking like an Irish guy, okay?
He's Curavan. You fucking wanker. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Curavan.
Curavan.
No,
if you type the name Curavan in on Facebook, every single person with the name is from Ireland. So it is a big. It's not O'Connor or O'Neill or O'Schmagan or O'Hagan, but it's there.
No, it's not O'Megan.
No, it's not O'Megan. No, but I am 80% Irish.
Nice. So that's good. Okay. So, JC, you're JC McTimes. Are you Irish?
It's McTinez instead of Martinez. McTinez.
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 Okay, McTinez, are you Irish? Yes or no?
I think we all are. I don't know. I was telling you earlier before we went live that I've never seen my father without a mustache. Now he's older. It's gone white, but growing up, he's had black hair and bright red mustache. And
nice.
I also have a half brother who was a complete redhead with freckles and light skin. So maybe somewhere along the lineage, something happened.
Nice. Yeah. There was a little bit of Irish in somebody. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I am a quarter Irish. So yeah, one of my grandmothers was from Ireland. So I'm a little bit of Irish. I do get little red hair on me when it comes in, usually on my beard and stuff, but yeah. Okay, so we're all a little bit of Irish. So okay. Do you guys eat cabbage and all that stuff and beef and all that? Josh, you probably eat it every night, probably, because you're.
I eat cabbage a lot, but I'm not a big boiled fan. Like the corned beef. It all depends on how you cook it. I can't really. Boiled corned beef and cabbage is pretty fucking chewy, so it's kind of rough to eat. So when I was little, school activities and stuff, they used to do it. My mom tried it once and never again. But yeah, we don't do like the stereotypical boiled dinner.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I don't eat it. I never was a fan of it. I don't know I'm fine with cabbage, but I'm just the boil and all that other stuff. I'm kind of not totally a fan of it. So, JC, I know you eat it on never time, right?
I've had it one time. I never cooked it. So I went to like a friend's house when they had it. He was Irish. I've had corned beef before. I've had cabbage before, prior to that, I've never had corned beef and cabbage together.
Right.
It was pretty good. I thought I liked it. I mean, it was good.
Nice. Okay. So do you guys celebrate it? Do you guys go out and drink green beer and all that stuff, or do you feel that somebody had told me yesterday that drinking green beer is better than drinking regular beer?
All it is food coloring, isn't it?
That's all it is. I mean, it's just like dumping food coloring in the rivers in Chicago. I mean, it's just food coloring. What does it make a difference? I don't get the point of. I mean, yeah, it's Irish Day. It's St. Patrick's. You got to dump in green into it, but I'm not chasing no leprechauns around for some green beer.
Maybe it's just the environment, because like if you came home from work and made a hot dog, there's nothing really special about a hot dog. But if you go to a baseball game and eat a hot dog, the experience is a little better,
Interesting. Yeah. I
And
agree with
you use ketchup gravy on it.
You want to know what's funny with St. Patty's Day? This is at least 2 years ago. St. Patty's Day here is about like boozing it up, going to bars, drunk college kids, and people puking in the curbs, right? In Ireland, the actual holiday is a religious holiday. It's like an Easter. It's this you celebrate in the beginning of like Christianity in Ireland. Everybody thinks it's all about St. Patrick chasing the fucking snakes out of Ireland, blah blah blah. But it's like it's a celebration of like Irish heritage, but a lot of it is Christianity being established in Ireland.
Nice. Yeah,
Why did I see you dressed as a leprechaun yesterday?
That's my kink.
He had the green and white striped socks.
You know what's funny? I do have them. I'm a Celtics fan. What do you want?
Right.
So, but yeah, if you went back, like this is years ago. I remember talking. This is years and years and years ago. I worked in an Irish food mart in Boston, and they'd come over here and they'd party like the actual off the boat Irishmen, and they'd say over there it's sometimes the younger crowd would go out and have a beer or a pint, as they say, whatever. But 20-something years ago, it wasn't that big of a party holiday. I don't even think they really give too much of a shit. You know what I mean? It's like over here saying like Flag Day. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, over here, everybody, like you said, everybody, I think a lot of places, even like here, I mean, a lot of people celebrated yesterday, and it was more of, like you said, just a drunk fest. It was just, go out and drink. And I feel like, yeah, it's one of those things that you can experience when you're younger, but after that, it's like, okay, I don't, what's the point of going out and drinking from breakfast till, end of the day? That's my perspective. I'm not that kind of a guy that wants to keep drinking all day.
Yeah, but the people are smart, because the ones that did it yesterday realize that it's Sunday. They most likely don't have to work. If you did it today, you're going to be a mess on Monday.
Yeah. And you're still going to have your amateurs that are going out today and going on a bender.
Right. Yeah.
And for some people, St. Patrick's Day is every day.
Some people, you never know. Okay. So what else? We have our circus here. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. But okay, so now going on this, how are you hiring people? Josh, I know you like to hire people. JC, you like to be solo. Well, what is better? Is it hiring or being solo?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you have a limit as to how much money my belief, you have a limit as to how much money you can make if you're solo, right? If you have systems and processes in place, per usual we talk about, I feel like you can extend your income and grow your company and invest more. Not saying you can't do that if you're solo, but obviously as one guy, you can only do so much. Your body can only take so much. So I think the advantage of having employees is that you don't necessarily exert your body as much, and you can execute more resources.
Yeah. JC, what's your thoughts? Being solo better? less hassle?
I think it depends on what your goals are.
Okay.
You know, and what your time in what span are you doing it? You know, how dedicated you want to be involved. If you're doing it on a full-time basis, I would say that employees are absolutely beneficial. You could expand your work, grow your company. I mean, you could do that too on a part-time basis if you wanted to, but you're probably going to be adding a lot more time to that part-time business and investing more time into it with employees. So you're going to be a lot busier as well. But again, it's one of those things. Like I like working by myself, and you know I'm not in it now, but when I was, it just I enjoyed the time just managing myself and focusing on my work.
Nice. So do you feel like it's less hassle being solo? And Josh, do you feel like there's a lot more hassle having employees?
Repeat that. I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth with the.
Yeah, I know you are.
The guy that doesn't want to show his real name but talk a lot of smack.
Right, right.
What was the question again?
So, do you both feel like there's less hassle or more hassle with employees or being solo?
More hassle. Absolutely. Name of the company is Carving Green. If you actually watch the fucking show, you know that, you dumbass. Show your face, bitch. No, I mean, obviously there's more hassle. I mean, you got payroll taxes, you got systems and processes, you have training, you have people. Talksman, happy to chat. Jump on. You have liabilities of liabilities, just people being stupid and not paying attention, or nature of the beast. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
One of my guys took out a $4,000 security gate. It was an accident. You know, shit happens, nature of the beast. But stuff like that comes into play that's kind of out of your control, no matter how much you put, systems in place and you talk to guys and you train, things are going to happen. When you're by yourself, obviously stuff happens, but you're in more control. But I'm not going to lie and say I haven't thought sometimes about going back and going, damn, I could just, downsize everything and just focus on machine work. Take my excavator, take my skid steers, and just strictly go work for a contractor and do like grade work and excavation work. And, probably make a decent amount of money. But, my goal, like JC said, at the end of the day, it's all about your goals. My goal is not to be breaking my back for the rest of my life. I kind of want to ease through this and use this as a paycheck and run it rather than working in it and being a laborer the rest of my life.
Right. I agree with you. JC, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's what works for you. I mean, there are people in the industry that have tried both, and sometimes it also comes down to security and what's safe. There is such thing as taking some risks in business and seeing what works for you. But sometimes you find out by doing things like that, like what's the best situation for you. You might not be ready at the time that you think you want to hire employees. And then it might take a couple of years before you decide to expand, or business starts coming in a little more, or you start learning to do more trades and start learning to do more things, or you hire somebody that has a different level of experience dealing with different types of services, where you might want to take that on as a company and then have some work created through that avenue. But I don't know, man. I think there's pros and cons in life to everything, and you kind of adjust as you go along, and every day you're learning, so you get a chance to kind of see what works for you and continue going from that point.
True. I mean, I think there is that, the pluses and the cons to everything, especially with employees. There is always the pluses and the cons to it, but you got to outweigh every little bit about it and just go, the right way you want to go. Like you said before, like having the goals and what's your goal and how you want to, what kind of revenue you want to make, because after a certain time, you got to have a certain amount of, revenue per person. And, if you want to keep making more money, maybe you do want to, hire employees. So, yeah.
Hey, love Google. Can you state your name and your company name, please? Hiding behind a,
Yeah.
I love the dude. You know what's funny? At least it's not a bot talking about white babies in America.
Yeah. We have some fun people over here on YouTube always, you know, it's fun that you get these haters that want to come on here and just talk crap, and then don't want to show their name or anything, and just live behind a back name. But
I don't think they're haters. I think they're trolls, and I can't lie and say that I haven't been a little bit of a troll in the past. Thank you. I'm from Australia. Oh, that explains a lot.
Right.
What's
you
your
go to
name?
bed in
State
Australia.
your name, big guy. State your name.
I wonder what time is it in Australia?
I don't know. I think it's like late at night, probably. I mean, I don't have my phone, but yeah, it's got to be late. I mean, we even got people from Russia, and they don't heckle us, or troll us.
They'll kill you.
Yeah.
All right, this guy's on phonics. Let's move on to the next one. All right.
Okay. So, running the business, doing solo, and and having employees. What is your biggest thing, Josh? Having employees. What is your biggest pet peeve about having employees?
My biggest pet peeve about having employees. I don't think there's one in particular. My biggest pet peeve, I guess, would be production rates. Okay. I think I'm flexible when it comes to production rates, and my guys don't really like me talking about it. I guess it puts a stressor on it, but there are production rates out there for a point, right? So I know exactly what things should take. These must be the guys on YouTube jack each other off.
Hey, this is all we get. We got stuff all the time that
I love this.
This is fun, yeah.
I'm sorry. This is great.
Yeah.
This is a strategy. We should just do something besides landscape because I love these comments.
Yeah.
Did someone tell them that we do that? I mean, did they find
it? I mean, literally, we do landscape, dude. I don't know why everybody thinks that we do other things. We're here to talk and have a good time. And, it's funny that these people have to come on here, but okay. Yeah, Josh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I like that one. Scott Jack's off big black men like yourself, so there you go. But honestly, a pet peeve would be production rates, right? So production rates, everything has a production rate from mowing to sprinklers to pavers. I don't press it. I know there's variables that come up, and there's certain things that may come up when you're in the field, but not being able to hit those at certain times kind of drives me a little crazy because I mean that is, in a sense, what we base the numbers on, the labor rates on. So that kind of drives me crazy. It's nothing like, guys taking breaks, doing this, doing that. Human nature. People are going to do things. You talk to them, you address it. If they keep doing something stupid, then that's that. But I think as far as like the business aspect, it's more or less guys actually hitting those rates for me to make sure that we actually move on to the next thing and are being profitable.
Okay. So JC, what is your pet peeve of being solo?
Only having yourself to rely on. So, I mean, there have been a handful of times where I've been in a pickle where the mower belt breaks and I have to either go get a belt or I don't have a belt. So now I'm working on this mower in the middle of someone's lawn. Thankfully, things like that I'm able to do fairly quick. I have a toolkit and all that, but yeah, just time management too. Like it obviously is going to take you a lot longer to get things done, especially if when I was doing it on my days off. So of course I want some free time for myself, and with life, you find yourself working the entire day, and which is not a bad thing, but still, if you just want to take that time to kind of relax a little bit, and then you're really dependent on yourself, and you try to get things done, quality wise, and sometimes things take you longer. Advice, that's always a good thing, because sometimes 2 or 3 people on a job site have a better idea how to manage something, like for example leaf cleanups, a different approach of how to take it. Of course, experience is going to dictate that. So, and if you're familiar with the property you've been working on, you know how to do that already. I would hope. But if you go on a new property, then things might be different. You might misquote something. You might end up working there a lot longer. So just things like that. but there's also advantages to working on your own.
Yeah, I think there's pluses and negatives on that too. I mean, I think working on your own, yes, it's a better income for yourself, like as a side business. But like you said, there's always that point where at certain jobs you don't want to take a big job that could take you weeks because it's it's like you don't want to be like, hey, I'll take this cleanup. It takes 5 hours, but I only really have 4 hours a day to do that. So one of those things that you got to do.
Uh,
What
There
you
was
can.
one time the mower belt broke. This happened twice actually. One on my property, but I was kind of on a hill going up, and the drive belt broke, and I couldn't. It was in a bad position. I had to push the mower, and there was no way I was able to push it. So luckily, I had a rope in my truck, and it was close enough where I could connect the two of them and kind of back my truck up and pull the mower to a better spot where I was able to work on it. But you got to be, what do you call it? You got to be you got to think outside the box sometimes in certain situations.
Right. I agree with that. So would you agree with that, Josh? That's better to have people for that or to work by yourself? Like you said, I think you think you always have that issue every one time of like, is that job going to get done the right way or on time? Correct?
Yeah, I mean, again, it all comes down to what you want. I mean,
Right.
what's the saying? If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, right? So at least if you are doing it, it'll be done. But yeah, like the little knickknacks happen, those extra pair of hands. When you're on a job by yourself, you always wish you had that extra pair of hands, So it's watch it. Personally, like if I had to go back and do it myself, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I would do a lot of stuff differently, but I would scale.
What about too, like safety?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
You get hurt and there's no one home, you're screwed.
right. Will Aflac come out and do all my work for me? That's the main thing. That's one thing that you think about. I mean, getting hurt in this type of business by yourself, even with employees, if you're one of the people that's out there working, do you want to be that one that's out? That's always the one thing that kind of freaks me out. And the couple times that I have gotten hurt, it's good that I have employees because that stuff wouldn't be done otherwise.
What kind of so this heckler Love Google wants some life wisdom. He's a cellar dweller in his mom's basement, supposedly in Australia. So what kind of life wisdom would you like, Mister, who still hasn't shared his identity yet? But yeah, when he answers that question, we'll follow up with it. But let's keep on going.
Okay. All right. So,
Sir Josh.
yeah, Sir Josh. So now, okay, here we go. What would you say if you wanted to scale, but you wanted to stay solo? What would be the best thing to do? I mean, let's say you, JC, you're doing it part time. Would you want to eventually, if you could, push into it more, or would you rather stay where you're at?
Stay where I'm at, but on the flip side of things, if you plan on staying solo and want to bring in more income or just be busier, like I haven't done this, but Josh kind of put the idea a few years ago, like services that take quicker for you to complete that you could charge a nice premium for. Like one of them was he was doing, or I don't know if Josh, if you're still doing it, like the mosquito repellent, like the applications, like how quick you could do that and have a customer subscribe to that for multiple applications throughout the year. And that's a quick service, going around the perimeter of a property and just applying an organic tick and flea and mosquito repellent, services like that don't take too much time, and you could do multiple properties, and bring in that quicker income. I think so. Like those types of jobs are more feasible for a single operator individual.
Right. I mean, I think there is a lot of jobs in our industry that you could do by yourself and still work a part time or even a full time job somewhere. Like you said, doing mosquito spray, doing fertilization, doing aerations. I see a lot of companies that have just done nothing but aerations, and there's a lot of jobs that they can go out and do themselves. But there's a lot of jobs that sometimes involve more than one person. Like Josh is, doing hardscaping. You can, I mean, I think it would be hard to go and do a patio by yourself. I mean, yeah, you could do it, but that might be the only job you might do for a month. Correct, Josh?
Yeah, but in the same sense, my overhead's not going to be as much. I'm not going to need as much equipment. I'm not going to need the payroll. So, I wouldn't need to do, 4 or 5 patios a month in order to hit my nut. I would be able to do 1 or 2 and kind of take my time and roll in. I think if I went back and I scaled back and I was going to go solo, I think I would look at what my personal nut for the month was and what my nut for the company was, just being a solo operator. I would look at that and I'd figure out, obviously I do snow management and I do landscape. I figure out how much I would need, and I would honestly try to figure out the best and almost easiest source of income for that, whether that be mowing, but just like Jensen said, we talked a while ago about mowing versus mosquito applications. You might get $80 for a mow, $100 for a mow, but you're taking the time, the fuel, the wear and tear on the mower versus, hey, it's just a backpack blower that you paid, $500 for, and I'm making a better margin on that than I would with mowing. So maybe it's pushing that and focusing on snow. Trust me, these things have gone through my head before where I'm like, all right, what if I just scale back and try to make myself, a couple $100,000 a year and just did it myself and hired some subs. But
right. I think there's a lot there. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think there's a lot of businesses that you can do in our industry that you could do by yourself or with extra employees. Definitely. So now, if you could change one thing about your business right from here on out and change it to go the better way that you would want it to go, which would it be, Josh?
Say it again.
If there's one thing you could change from like last year to now, which way would you go? Employees, business wise, work wise, processes, trucks, which would you do?
What would I change?
Yeah.
That's tough because I'm kind of in that thought process right now of, every year is a different thought of which way I want to go in my personal life versus my business life. And obviously, this kind of goes into what the little clown on the chat saying, you want some insight on, no, but for real, you want some insight on personal. All the business stuff has to do with personal, your growth, what you want to do, the amount of money you want to make, all goes on how you live your life, So I'm looking at what I want as I'm getting older, and I'm going, do I want to deal with breakdowns and repairs? Or do I want to buy new equipment and new trucks and be able to go? So, that's a great question. And I'm still trying to figure that out, where it's like, do I want to hire more as I go, or do I want to subcontract more and have less of the admin work with the payroll and the payroll taxes and the training and all that crap, or just go to another company and take a smaller margin and basically just manage a portfolio, and then have more time to spend with my kids or my wife or work on my house. So I've kind of been rolling with that, where I don't know how to answer that question as of right now, because it's kind of up in the air. It's like, we had a direction we were going, and now we're kind of circling back and going to where we weren't. The snow stuff is still there. That's our meat and potatoes. We make a lot of money with that. We do very well in it. But it's the summertime stuff, figure out what we want to do and if I want to invest in that. I don't want to work 80 hours a week for the rest of my life. I don't want the guys that work for me to have to work 80 hours a week for the rest of their life. I would like guys to be able to do 40 hours a week and be able to feed their families and enjoy their time. That's always been my motto with my business. It's quality of life. So it's looking at that and trying to figure out what I want to do, if I want to really grind and hustle and build it to, 20, 30, 40, 50 employees, or keep it small and subcontract a lot more. I mean, idea, right? Look at Jason Case from Case Snow Management. That's a pretty big company, but a major part of their portfolio is subcontracting. You know, they subcontract more than they actually self-perform. Think about it in that sense, you know. So, I mean, I know I didn't answer the question, but I'm kind of in the middle of that thought process.
I think you did answer a question because you did actually, you're actually, outweighing pretty much how you want to go your future. Do you want to be the guy that hires subs, and manage it, or do you want to be the person that, works it the right way to where they're not working as many hours? And I think both ways are the best way to look at it. Is how do you want your future to look? And I think every year we have to look at our businesses and say, this is what I want to change. This is the way I want to go from this point on. I think we all do that. And it sometimes is stuff that comes up throughout the year that reflects that on how you want to change it and go from that point on. Sometimes it's just, every year, like, how do I want to proceed with this year? Do I want to make it easier for me and my people that are working for me? Or do I want to make it easier to where I spend more time with my family? It's all that comes into a play. And I think that's the best way to do it, is to kind of look at how you want to see your future from 5, 6, 10 years down the road. I think we're all that way.
Yeah. And like a big part for me personally, right, was that I almost feel like I'm on this blitz, right? So I'm kissing my 40s now, right? I haven't caught up with you guys just yet. But a big part of my 20s was kind of just rushing around. I had kids early, so it was rushing around and being in survival mode, right? So, at that point, I didn't have a company. I was kind of juggling jobs and just trying to pay bills. Late 20s, same things. Early 30s was like just starting to kind of get in that role and evolve. And now going into my 40s, I'm like, all right, I have the business to a place that I want it, that I can really control the direction. I want to be able to retire. But at the same time, I started so late with all this that it's like, I don't want to make the wrong move. So it's almost like a chess game. And at the same time, right, I don't want to overthink it, because I don't want my mental capacity or my mental health to hit a wall and just go absolutely insane. So that's why I said before, like, when I'm trying to answer these questions to myself, it's tough because I know the mistakes. My experience comes from making so many. It's not from being successful or succeeding in what I've done so far. It's the fucking mistakes I've made, because I've made so many more mistakes than I have successes. And I'll be straight up with that. I've failed more and I've lost more money than I've fucking gone forward and flourished with. I've made some good decisions in the past few years that have helped me. I've made a lot of networking connections that have helped me. But it's a game of chess right now, where I have to be careful what pieces I move and when I go into. It's because it's once I invest, in adding 6 or 7 more trucks and 10 or 15 more guys, those are other people's livelihood that I don't want to fuck with, and I don't want to fuck with mine either. So it's once I'm in for that ride. So do I want to take that ride for another 30 years to make this work out? And do I have the mental health and mental capacity to actually move forward and handle that? Again, I had kids early. My kids are grown. I got one going off to college. I got one, soon to be in high school that, I'm on the back end of that. So.
Right. JC, your thoughts on what you would?
Yeah, it's tough, man, because like you're right. You absolutely have to look at it as the picture like the entire picture, business side, personal side, just like Josh was saying. And human nature, like, we're the most stubborn creatures on this planet. Like, there are certain things that we do constantly that we know doesn't work, but for some reason we're just comfortable with it and continue doing it. And you gotta understand that, like, if something hasn't been working for you for the past 2, 3, or 4 years, but you're still doing it, like, you need to start thinking about whether you want to do some minor adjustments and changes to kind of break away from that and see if something else works. We get into that comfort zone where, like exactly Josh is saying, we're getting older, and you can't dwell looking in the rearview mirror so much that you're going to rear end the car in front of you. You have to, like, look ahead and learn from your mistakes and just kind of go from there. But to go back to your original question, like, about this year, or certain things that we could change, that's a tough question. There are things that anybody or most people would want to change that have no control of that change, like weather. Like, wintertime for us here wasn't that heavy as it was in years past. And I think I could speak for Josh in saying that, like, we didn't get much of a winter. So As far as snow removal companies and whatnot, they didn't really have that. But going now into the spring, like that's my season, or at least the season that I like the most. And now I want that to kind of hurry up. And the earlier start that you get, the better progress you may have going forward into the season. You know, you're gonna want to wish for that longer season so you could have more work cut out for you. Same thing in the wintertime. You're gonna want that snowfall to happen so you have that work created for you. So some things you can't control. You just kind of have to adjust as you go along and do the best that you can with whatever situation's presented in front of you.
True. I think that's all good information there and good facts. I mean, you get it's hard to go and decide which way you want to go. I mean, yeah, I agree with both of you guys on this. I mean, I'm the same way. It's like you look at like how do you want to invest your future? Do you want to invest it more into new equipment or different ways of training or going a certain way? It's hard. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm kind of looking at that the both ways of like maybe I don't. Yeah, the end is near, and then you never know when it is. But the end is near to all of us here.
Hey, there's a YouTube comment from Yime. It says, "Keep it small, subcontract, because you can't get back the time you need to spend with your precious family now." Which kind of circles back to, one of the comments I made earlier, where like I had people tell me this in the past when I was younger, like early 20s, and I didn't understand it. And I agree with that, and that's where it comes like, what is the mental and financial investment you want to make, going into the future, because that is right. But on the other side, you need to make money. Like, and that's the hard part. Like in the economy today, right? It's hard to be like, you know what, I'm not going to put in that extra time to make the money because food costs money, lights cost money, heat costs money. I get what you're saying. I don't like this too, but it's like, where's that happy medium? Yeah, you subcontract, but that time is still there. And that was always my problem. Like I overworked in my 20s and early 30s. And that comment is absolutely right. I probably should have just focused on maybe doing 40 or 50 hours a week rather than doing, 60 to 70 hours a week. And spend more time with the family, because I did miss a lot in the early years. So, that's when you're thinking about it, you got to look, you do have to make money, right? You do have to make a good amount of money to survive, but you still want to be able to spend that time with your family and watch your kids or your friends or, mom and dad grow and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, I think you need to look at how you want to spend your time. I mean, it's a lot there. There's a lot in our business, definitely, to look at. Okay, so we've had some really good talks on this and a bunch of other stuff. I'm lost here today. It's been
I love the devil. I made love to the devil. The devil made love to me.
St. Patrick's Day. Okay. Thanks, Nick, for being.
We got a cellar dweller in Australia. We got one of the guys that stands on the corner with the plywood, fucking Y2K baby. And then what else? We got one decent person on here. Then we got Nick Saint, the legend Nick Saint.
Yeah, the legend Nick Saint. He's on there.
Welcome to crocodiles out there.
God can't save you now.
Well, okay. So, Josh, both. This is a real good one for you, because I think tomorrow we're going to be talking to a Ferris person from Ferris, somebody from Ferris tomorrow, Ferris Mowers. What piece of equipment would you like to add to your fleet this year? If you could add any piece of equipment, no cost.
No
cost.
Jesus, that's tough. No cost.
No cost. One piece of equipment. That's it.
No cost, huh? If it was zero cost for me, I would take a 930 cat loader with a metal plus pusher, because that right there is like a fucking $300,000 setup that would probably make me tenfold, over its time.
Sweet. JC.
1970 Chevelle tuxedo black.
He said equipment.
That's not a piece of equipment. That's a vehicle.
He's gonna put a trailer hitch on it and pull his trailer.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Arguably, yeah. Arguably.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, yeah, I would like a. It's not that much either. Just probably like a 30-inch walk behind.
30-inch walk behind.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind though? Any kind? Is there a particular kind you're looking for? Because I know there's a lot of people out here that like to stick with one type of mower and say, okay, I'm going to go all Gravely, I'm going to go all Ferris, and I'm going to go
He's
all.
looking for a Ferris mower, 30-inch.
Coincidentally, yeah.
Yeah, 30-inch Ferris.
Did they make one?
Oh,
I don't know. We're going to have to ask that question tomorrow. That would be a good question to ask.
And I don't want to go battery. I don't have the faith in the battery right now. I mean, for certain things.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. And I really think that, there's a lot that has to go on battery. But, yeah, so 30-inch. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I always wanted to do? I've never tried it. Like the walk behinds that you connect the little, what do you call it? The
sulkies.
Yeah, the sulkies, but with no wheels. It's just a metal plate.
Yeah,
that does look cool.
Yeah, those look fun.
Yeah,
I've only ever used the sulkies.
I heard they take a toll on you though.
They do. I hate to say it, but when I first started, the first company had one, and we actually just literally took it off the mower right away and decided just to walk. It was just better to be, walking instead of riding on that thing, because it was worse than, the original stand-ons. It was very worse than the original stand-ons. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather just walk behind those things. Yeah. So but Nick loves his sulkies. I mean, he wants a horse. So if anybody could get him a horse, Nick Saint, he likes a horse. He needs it to pull his buggy because he likes to pull his buggies around.
Nick, how dangerous could those things be? Like, I would imagine, you fall off one of those things. It's a little different. Like, you hit a bump, I don't know. And they must take a toll on your ankles too.
The ones with the wheels are called Velkies.
Velkies, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just. Wow.
But they stripe good though, huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they do stripe good. Don't get me wrong, they do stripe good. So, okay. Josh, so you got a topic. I want to hear your topic here. You got a good question.
It's not really a topic, it's more of a discussion, right? Okay. And anybody, cellar dweller or not, jump into the comments and comment, and I'll get your guys' opinion on this. This isn't what you think it's going to be. And I never in a million years thought I would talk about this person or this thing.
Oh,
so
great.
No,
I cannot come to your house. No.
No, it's not what you think. So as you know, last week, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul announced that they're going to be participating in an exhibition boxing match, right?
Right.
And I'm just curious to get people's opinion on this, right? Because I've never paid attention to the Paul brothers, I think it was. Now I'm curious what everybody thinks is going to happen. Obviously, this is about money, right? Everything this kid does is about money. So the amount of talk, the contract with Netflix, this is massive, right? This is like marketing standpoint, man. This is genius, right? I'm thinking it's going to go round for round. One of two ways. It's going to go round for round and end up being a draw with Tyson winning, right?
Right.
Or you're going to have a disappointment in this draw, and Tyson's going to snap and just fucking destroy him because Tyson is fucked in the head. Now, I look at it this way where Tyson gets money, but the kid Jake Paul gets the clout no matter what.
Right.
He wins, he beat Tyson. He loses, he was the kid that actually went up and had the balls to fight Tyson. 30-year difference or not, he had the balls to go up and lose to Mike Tyson. So either way, he has some sort of stamp in that his history stand, this historic standpoint, So I'm curious what you guys think. Is Tyson going to snap and just destroy him, or is this just a gimmick and it's going to be a slap fight?
I really can't comment. I'm protesting the whole thing.
Why?
Because it's not boxing, and it's, to me, it's like it's WWF wrestling. I'm a very passionate fan
wants
when
it,
it comes
so
to
it's gonna get
actual
viewers.
boxing. Like I'm a super passionate fan when it comes to like boxing, and I think these types of fights, like it's just kind of spitting on the actual sport, like and people that are not boxing fans are watching these fights thinking that it's an actual boxing fight when it really isn't.
Well, that the one thing they push is that it wasn't a sanctioned fight, so
Yeah.
it's like this is just like two guys in a fucking alley.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
refuse.
if it's not a sanctioned fight, are they just going to go all out? Is Paul going to do everything that he needs to do?
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Mike Tyson's going to win, and what Josh was saying, the kid's going to get props for going up against Tyson. It's going to be a very close decision, and they're going to be going to the bank together. That's all it is.
This is all a bank run. That's all it is. But if you think about it, you're a dude, right? So obviously at some point, like your mind gets the best of you sometimes. Where if Tyson snaps, Paul's gonna fight. I'm not Logan Paul. Jake Paul's gonna fight. The one thing I'm looking at is 60 years old is 60 years old, no matter how good a shape you're in, and 30 years old is 30 years old. Jake Paul also, if you've watched, like I went back and I watched some clips last night, just trying to get an idea. The kid has a massive wingspan. He's 6'2", 6'3", Tyson's 5'10", shorter arms. So Tyson's going to have to work to get inside. If Tyson actually gets inside, the kid's fucking done. But if he can keep Tyson going, for 3 rounds, I think Tyson could get winded, and there's a potential that he could slip and maybe get him on the draw.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, and I hate actually talking about it. I really don't want anything to do with it. Here's the thing: that Jake Paul kid is not a boxer. He's never boxed a professional boxer. And
Tyson Fury was a professional boxer.
Yeah, and Mike Tyson is the boxer of our generation. He's gone up against guys that were bigger than him and taller than him and strong. It's shenanigans to me.
It is, but it's entertainment, and it's funny. And I never thought I would talk about this kid ever, but this is getting me because it's like we know it's a gimmick,
bro. When Conor McGregor fought against Mayweather, everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is good. McGregor's going to kick his ass." Blah 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 blah. Bro, you can't. It's two different sports. You had Conor McGregor at the time going into his first professional boxing fight against the best at the time. There was no. I knew the outcome of that fight, and Mayweather didn't beat McGregor. The sport of boxing beat McGregor because McGregor's legs were jello in the 8th round. If you don't have your legs, you don't have your boxing game, and that's how he lost. And I'm surprised I even watched that fight because I knew what the outcome was going to be.
I'll agree with that. And again, I would get my ass kicked by a boxer and an MMA fighter without even them trying, But I don't think that you can put an MMA fighter, which Jake Paul has done. He's fought retired, out of their prime MMA fighters in a boxing ring. I don't think that you could even put McGregor and Mayweather were the prime example. You can't put an MMA fighter against a boxer and expect him to keep up. They're two different types of sports. They're two different types of training. That's just like saying if Mayweather went into an octagon with Conor McGregor, he's fucking done once he gets a submission on him. So that's the one thing with this Paul kid is he's fought out of their prime MMA fighters. Tyson Fury was the only boxer he fought, and I'm pretty sure Tyson Fury was I think he was retired at that point because that wasn't a sanctioned fight either. Tyson Fury's 6'8", and he won in a draw. That was the only time. And I think the reason he won in a draw and not a knockout was he was paid. I think
that was his son. It wasn't Tyson Fury. It was Tyson Fury's son that he fought. But yeah, it was the same thing. Again, not keeping up on the bull crap. To me, that's like celebrity boxing.
It is interesting. I will say that I probably will watch it. I didn't think I'll only watch it because it's Tyson, and I'm crossing my fingers that Tyson snaps. Like some troll starts riding him like you're a bitch, blah blah blah, and he just fucking loses his mind and goes crazy. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'll tell you what though, if you're actually paying to watch that fight, you're a knucklehead.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It's free.
But that's why, because I don't think anybody would pay for it. That's the problem. People learn their lesson. I learned my lesson with the Mayweather McGregor fight. I paid like $160 for that, and it was legit. It was a light duty sparring match. It was a waste of money.
But there will be people that don't have Netflix that are going to pay to watch. There's going to be people that are going to want to watch it. I mean, and it's just because of the names. And I, like you guys say, I think it's going to be
it's not even a 12-round fight, is it?
No, it's not going to be that long. It's not, and it might, a quick, 1-2 rounds and be done. And that might be what it is. I mean,
but is it a 5-rounder? Is it an 8-round fight? Is it sanctioned for 12? I don't think so, because 12 is professional.
Right. I don't think right now. I think it's just going to be a quick 2-round fight and be over with. I mean, and then it might be just a dance match. Really, if you think about it, it's just going to be a quick dancing around, and
I might have asked this question on a previous podcast. I'm gonna ask it again just in case I did not. You have to pick one of these two situations. The first one is take 1 round against Mike Tyson in his prime. You cannot throw yourself to the ground and just lose. You have to last the entire round unless he freaking kills you. Or return an NFL kickoff. You can't run out of bounds, and you have no pads on, but they do. Which one are you doing?
The kickoff. Definitely the kickoff. I know I'm going to get pommeled, and but I'd rather do that instead of getting hit by Tyson.
I think you could die in both of those scenarios.
Yeah.
Josh, what are you doing?
Jesus Christ, if it's now, I'm fucking running the other way. I got bad knees. If I was younger, I'd take the kickoff because there's no way I'm getting away from Tyson in his prime. Though a part of me thinks that my adrenaline could pump up so much that I may have an ability to fucking outrun some football players. Right. I can run fast as scared, and they can mad and active. So,
right. I don't know. It'd be. What would you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go down with pride. If I die at the funeral, I'll be like, yeah, this guy died because he got punched by Tyson.
Okay. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know.
We got Yaim is asking about the Elon Zuckerberg fight. Elon challenged them. Zuckerberg never responded.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So, did you look it up? Is it sanctioned or no?
Well, nothing's sanctioned in the fight. It's an exhibition match. So, exhibition, I think, would be 6 rounds, but I couldn't find how many rounds is the Paul Tyson fight.
I'm interested. I mean, I don't think it's going to last till whatever it is. So, if it is 6 rounds, it's not going to last that long.
Well, you have to understand. So when they're doing it, they're selling advertising space on like the non-premium Netflix. So they want it to last as long as possible.
Right.
So Curve and Green Company is going to be the center logo in the ring.
If I could get on there, man, if I could afford that, hell yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, I'm not. I'd have to look it up and we can chat about it on the next one. I'm not seeing it just when I Google, how many rounds it is. But I think it's definitely a money grab. It is entertainment. It's not an actual boxing match. So, guys like Jensen who actually follow the sport, it is kind of spitting in the face. But in the same sense, boxing was a dead sport. Sorry, but it was a dead sport. Like, people don't really follow it. That, it is getting some eyes on. You got guys like I'm not going to butcher the last name, Joshua Ruiz.
Right.
The big guy. Fight a guy like that, you know what I mean? He'd fucking destroy you. But fight a guy like that that's in his prime right now. And that'll give credibility.
The thing with boxing is that it's not obviously UFC has is popularized quite a lot throughout these past few years, and boxing they have their fan base, like, and they haven't gained any more popularity, but they haven't really lost their pool of fans, you know. And there are young up and coming boxers still in the game, and if you think about it, like a lot of boxers are coming from Mexico, South America. And in those areas, boxing's still really prevalent, and they do a lot of things, you know, in that aspect. The West Coast in California, you're going to get a lot of your boxers, and that fan base is kind of just it's secluded away from everything else. It's still there; it's still a moneymaker, but you have to be. It's not the sexy shit, you know, like UFC. Like you get like the hype and stuff, and you got a lot of young fans watching it, but UFC fans don't really know anything about boxing, and boxing fans don't really know anything about UFC. It's like Josh says, it's two different worlds, man. It's two different worlds.
Nice. Yeah, I think it is. It's going to be very interesting, and if you're watching it, you know, and enjoy the ads, and enjoy all the advertisement for it. That's what they're looking for. So this was a great episode. Thank you, Josh and JC. And remember, guys, we have an episode tomorrow that will be coming 8 p.m. live on all the social channels again. And we're going to have Ferris Mowers on, and we're going to talk to them about whatever the heck we want to talk about. We're going to find out, you know, we're going to get straight to the point, guys, and ask them some really good, deep questions on what's so important about them. And, you know, JC wants to know exactly why they're selling so good in certain states over other states. So it's going to be very interesting. Maybe we'll get that 30-inch mower for you. You never know. So, you know,
a little demo, you know.
Yeah, we'll demo it. You know, we'll tell them to bring it up to you. You know, there's got to be somebody around there, right? Thanks for our sponsor, Cujo Yardware, for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much. And keep watching us, guys. We will see you next week, and we will be back on tomorrow. So see you tomorrow night. Later, guys. Hey, if you're going to box,